Wow, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. If you touch my Bitcoin, I will touch your toes and maybe I will do something else to them as well. Guys, is Bitcoin currently actually breaking out of this falling wedge as of the past few hours? If it is, what is the target? We have a lot to look at in regard to that. As well, Bitcoin holding a key area. Okay, so even if we would get a breakout of this falling wedge, there is some other things we have to look at. There is some big overhead resistance ahead of us, and we really have to delve into that on these charts here. Bitcoin seemingly getting a bounce right at the bottom of this line. Guys, we have a lot to consider. There's a lot of things going on in a lot of these markets, so we cannot get too blindsided by some of these moves, but are some of these forming on these time frames? It's still incredibly early on. And as well, how is traditional finance going to react in just a few hours? So much to get into. Let's do this. Wow, guys, thank you so much for joining here today. I guess I'm not the only one that woke up a little excited today. We have so much to get into in this video as usual. Wow, so much going on. Beginning of the week, will stock markets continue the trend that they have been following as of last week, the last 5 days, day after day after day? And we'd be kidding if it didn't impact the rest of the market. So guys, so much to get into as well. Congrats on the winners for the ledgers, guys. We are still doing them. We still have plenty left to give away. So all you have to do if you're interested in these other ledgers, guys, is leave a comment below. And if you're new, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on the push notifications, ding the bell, and we can get into this data. Guys, so we want to start off here on this potential falling wedge, okay? This began forming basically right around February 26th, so about a week ago, right here. As we fell into this pattern, you can see we touched here and here, okay? A few touches, and then we had a few touches here. This is on the hourly chart. But as well, if we switch to the 4 hour, you can see this is still quite valid on the 4 hour. I like the 1 hour because we see many closes here that we want to like continue and keep in track here. Here we have many touches right here, many touches on the top. And now this time we were kind of trading in the middle. Usually it is 2 touches on the bottom, 2 touches on the top. And usually on that third touch on either direction, meaning so roughly like the 5th touch on either of the two is where we usually see a move. So okay, we actually come out, kind of break out of that, but don't spend a lot of time there. Down here, and then after not falling through this, boom, it looks like there is somewhat of an uptrend beginning here. We did break above some of these shorter term moving average here on the hourly chart. So we really have to take a look at that. Now, this could actually break us into a move, some very important levels here. This could actually get us roughly to the $9,000 level, maybe even slightly above that if this breakout is in fact a breakout here. But there's a lot of things we have to keep in mind, and that's on this bigger chart here. Again, I think when we do get a reversal, if we are going to get a reversal this week, it will be very powerful, but we have to wait to see if we're actually going to get one. And I don't think just yet it's confirmed at all. Basically, again, I'll say that again. I don't think that it's 100% confirmed just yet. Okay, I think there's some other things we need to consider if we're actually going to get a short-term breakout, a short-term bounce on these charts here. So something I want to show you here, we talked about that 86 being very high volume here. And we can actually zoom out and get all of this data accumulated in here. You can see as of the last roughly 8 months, we can see where the strong resistance and support was. Right now, we're at a very strong support zone. The next one, obviously, is around that $9,200 level. We don't have a lot of past in this area here, so it is possible that this would be the next significant resistance. And as well, guys, it's very key because that would be coming up right on this 50-day moving average, this blue line here. So that coincides perfectly with this area. So the 9,200 is the absolute key. I think if we get a breakout, if we would get a breakout, again, we're not saying we are just yet. It's way too early to tell. But if we would, 9,200 would be very, very strong resistance. That would be the level to break. If we would break back to 92, maybe break below it or break above it and then come back to test 92, that's the most key thing right now. 92 is the big target in everyone's eyes, okay? So 92 is so important. We're about $400 below that right now. For a short-term move up, $9,200. I'll repeat it again. 92 is the key area that we would need to get above. Now, after so much downside momentum, you guys can see basically since February 24th, it's been straight down. And we need to put in a green candle at some point, even if this entire downtrend does continue to take us down to lower levels, to 8,000, to maybe even wicking down to our target here, but down to roughly 82. Even if we're heading down to 82 over the next few days, it would make sense that we get some sort of a bounce in the meantime. Now, here's something to think about. Really important to think about. If we would get a bounce in the short term, the key area that we would need to break, okay, is that 92. So if we would break that, then we could start thinking, oh, maybe this is not just a short-term bounce. Maybe the trend is actually reversing. But until then, Okay, until then we have to wait. Okay, looking on this chart, you can see that here as well. 92 is right here, and this would break us back basically into an uptrend. This would be incredibly healthy, but we really have a decent amount to go before we would get above that. Definitely the 50 moving average is the thing we need to watch on that chart. And then switching to here, guys, you see as we come down to the bottom of this line, which actually meets as well perfectly with the 21 week moving average, such a strong indicator and such an important indicator as well right here. That's where we're getting the bounce as well. That's confluent exactly with the bottom of this trend line here. So if we would get a bounce here, I definitely think we should, it would be necessary if we're going to be in a healthy uptrend that we need to get a bounce right here at this 21 week moving average, which is absolutely vital, and as well the bottom of these three support lines moving upwards. Okay, so again, if this pattern wants to remain healthy at all, we would want to see a bounce here very soon. It's absolutely necessary to keep this thing intact and keep this thing healthy, okay? Switching to this chart, you can also see here on the daily, again, at the very top of this box, this is the key area we need to look at right here. We have the 50 coming up here, and that would actually start to look like a very nice cup and handle breakout beginning if we would actually break out to here, guys. Remember we talked about this? Okay, if this is actually happening here, boom, this would actually start to look very nice. Now, it would only be confirmed with this, actually. If we broke here, if we broke like 10,300, 10,400, where this also descending line of resistances, okay, we can zoom out, you can see where that goes back, okay, and it actually goes back even further than that. You can see where this descending line of resistance is. That would be huge. That would be absolute. That would be the breakout, okay? If we would get that, that would be absolute breakout target, but we're still very far away from that. Again, this could be a fake out right now, but if this is the beginning of a move up, those are some key areas we need to look at. But again, we need to take it one step at a time. And one step at a time would mean we would have to even just break this area first. So for a bullish scenario, this is what it would look like. Boom. Probably something like this, actually. Maybe something like this. Boom. That's what a breakout would look like. And that would be a perfect cup and handle. And if we would even get this far up into it, if we would get right here to the 10.3, guys, you know that would be absolute breakout central. And we would go probably most likely a few $1,000s above that. Okay, that would be the absolute breakout. That would be huge. But again, we're still pretty far away from that. This move is extremely early, but we need to look at that as a possibility there. As well, I want to take a look at Litecoin. You actually see Litecoin did break above the 200-day moving average here. Currently, it's about, I want to say $2 or $3 above that, so that looks good. If that's indicating what the entire momentum wants to do, then that's a pretty good sign there. Again, we've seen so much downside, so even in the short term, even if this is a bearish trend or we're reversing into a negative trend, we still would want to see a bounce here anyway, just because markets, even in a downtrend, will still pump up temporarily before getting pushed down more. Okay, so something definitely to look at there. And then what I'm really interesting to see, at the time of me recording this, we're just about an hour or so away from this. The market's opening here, and I really want to see which direction these guys trade throughout the day, because again, I do think it has an impact on everyone's sentiment. I do think it has an impact on which way the market is going to go as well. So it's absolutely important that we pay attention to all of that there, guys. And then if I just take a zoom out, I want to show you guys this one more time. Actually, I haven't talked about it in this video here. But again, we take a zoom out to, let's take it back to about April of 2019. Let's go a little bit more, actually. Let's do of all of 2018. So let's include basically the highs here. And I want to show you where the most resistance and everything is. Guys, looking on this chart, zooming back, look at this, okay? All the way out here, insane support and resistance right around this $8,000 level. So in the short term, if we did end up continue to going down, if we went down another $800, because guys, as I'm filming this, the price is actually pumping. So we're actually pumping during the video. But if we talked about the upside, if we're going to pull back, 8,000, 8,200 is insanely strong support. Look at this. You can see this is what it looks like. There's so much past support and resistance right here. And then look at that. I really would hope we would never come back to 65 again, but there's absolutely immense amount there. And then the second biggest in general is right around this area of 3,000. The very highest is actually right around that 6K here. This is huge. And the reason that is because we spent the entire year of 2018 bottoming there before breaking out of the descending triangle. Okay, that's huge. But again, right here, 8,000 is such a key level. And if we hold the 8,000, then this uptrend 100% remains intact. Okay, that's 100% healthy, and that is 100% bullish as well. So yeah, let's take a look one more time before the video's end. Yeah, you can see quite a little pump coming out of this channel here. Very exciting stuff. And wow, I did just want to add this little update to the end of the video here. because we are currently seeing for the first time some overhead resistance. Let's actually put it to the 1 minute so you guys can actually see this real time. Let's actually do the 5 minute because the 1 minute is way too convoluted. So you can see we're actually finding our first little resistance here. We found it earlier, just a few hours ago, right here. Okay, and then it broke straight up. So again, this is a very key area. If we switch to the 1 hour, you can see why that is as we're approaching the very top of this. Okay, right here is going to be some very small, maybe like an hour or two resistance if we're going to be able to break this, and then this would be the last. And if we break right about here, okay, right around the 8,900, then I expect this move to complete. Okay, now watching on these charts, this probably won't matter as the day plays out, as you guys are watching this video later on in the day. This is important right now as we're filming it, but you know, a few hours from now, this will most likely not even be anything that we'll be concerned about. But it does look like this breakout wants to continue. Now, this is a substantial pattern here. It's a few days long, so I do expect this breakout to continue. I personally think that if this breakout is valid, I definitely think $9,000 is within the realm of possibility. Definitely, and then with that, 92 becomes huge, and we can see if we can actually push that towards the end of the day if this momentum maintains strong. And I just want to clarify as well, if the stock market's open and they get absolutely destroyed, then I don't necessarily think that crypto will do well today. But guys, yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.